Bowker, just tell us, how did you get involved with this whole scenario here? Because, you know, you're not from the Isle of Man, but it sort of feels like you're becoming part of it.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to be here. I came over first of all for the World Music Festival in August and did a series of drum workshops and some singing workshops. And I met John Shakespeare there. And John had already spoken to me briefly about the idea of becoming involved with Oie Voaldyn, but I've been involved for nearly 30 years with bringing some energy to the fire festivals over in Ireland and sometimes in the UK as well. And my interest is in community music, so I've got a whole bunch of drums, but I also teach and write chants and songs with the idea of sort of reconnecting with those ancient festivals. And the original sort of idea I had was just noticing how important it is to reconnect with that sort of cycle of nature and also connect with our ancestors a little bit and some of the ideas that they had. And it's sort of like fragments that we have that have survived and then rekindling them and bringing them back to life has been the work, because we haven't really got ancient sort of spiritual chants. We've got the folk music, but we haven't really got those ancient magical chants, but we've got little fragments. Mm-hmm. So that's been part of my work for the last 30 years, is sort of bringing them back to life a little bit. And then John suggested, well, could you write some things in Manx? So for the last three or 4 months, I've been manically writing a whole series. I've got 10 finished anyway, with Kathy's help, getting the pronunciation right, and looking through folklore and books and texts and finding little phrases and stuff, and then rekindling a few things for this year's festival.
So you've written 10 brand new pieces of music.
Yeah, it's been fun, and that's something I've been doing. You see, I've been writing in all sorts of languages for a long time, including Lingala and Yoruba and
what now?
So they're African languages. So,
okay.
So I've been writing in all sorts of languages for ages, and my sort of what I'm writing in is what we call community voice or natural voice. So I'm trying to create simple 4-part harmonic chants that are beautiful and amazing, but they're not impossible to learn. You don't have to be a professional singer. In fact, you can be a total novice. And we get into 4 groups: tenor, bass, alto and tops. And I teach call and response. There's no music involved. You don't have to look at any sheets. And it's quite easy to learn. There's simple short phrases. Often it's 1 word or 2 words, or maybe just a very short sentence. And off we go. And then there's a word in English called enchantment, and we think of that in a different way, but it actually means being in the magic of chant. That's what it is. So these ancient words we have, like charm, a magical charm, means that the magic that happens once you are in chant. And we sort of lost that idea, but it's only just under the surface.
Yeah, and I suppose that the drum and the voice are the 2 oldest instruments we have,
exactly,
wherever you are around the world. And you were just saying about the drumming workshop, I don't know if you've got a little bit there, Christy, if people have a feeling or didn't know what it was like to hear some of those drums when they were playing on the Tynwald Hill last August. It was amazing, the energy which was generated when people were there. Just have a little listen to this. And it was just, again, by the end of it, you had people there, and the same with the singing, who come along, who had no musical experience, maybe never tried that before. By the end, they're going away sort of saying, wow, that's absolutely amazing, what fantastic, and the energy that it actually generates. And again, I didn't get to the singing workshops, but that seemed to tap into a much more, a deeper sort of emotional energy in many ways.
Yeah, I think there's a subtle difference there. The 2, as you say, can be combined, but there's something about the beauty that we create when we sing together in harmony that really resonates with something that's very ancient. And it's I hesitate to use the word, but it seems to be a sort of healing space in many ways. It's sort of, we generate this sense of camaraderie and safety and beauty. And then what I'll encourage people to do is to stop singing occasionally and come into the middle and have a listen. And when someone's in the middle, the sort of remit is, we're singing for you. Whoever's in the middle, might be 3 or 4 people, but we're singing a blessing for you. And that's a very ancient idea again, that you're actually communicating your kindness and your compassion for whoever's in the middle of the circle through your singing.
And you mentioned, to talk about singing, you mentioned that you've been writing some music. And John, you've got something very special that you've brought in for us today for us to hear, because there is a particular piece of music that John Bowker's been working on, isn't there?
With Kathy as well, but John's done the majority of the work, and it's the Oie Voaldyn, what we're calling the soundtrack or our theme tune, because we're putting together some videos, and this is what we're going to use to advertise the event. And also it will be sung at the start of the festival and also for the fireworks and maybe during it. And like John was saying, there is some Manx words about the waters of the hoof print and whatever, but it's mainly the word Oie Voaldyn, because written down I think people can, but some people still find it difficult to pronounce. I want this to come into the mainstream of our language, Oie Voaldyn. So this is the world premiere.